Hey guys, Chris here with the 2017 Bolt EV. I just picked this up. Chris and I swapped the Elantra Sport for this Volt tonight, and I've got it for the next couple days. And I figured while it's charged, should do a video of it, let you guys know my first impressions. I've only driven about 20 miles on it so far. Just did a POV night drive for the Whiny Road channel, and thought I'd give you some thoughts and first impressions. This is a funky little car. Nice, spacious, kind of minimalistic interior. You've got two USB charging ports in the back. Nice legroom, nice headroom. This is a surprisingly tall car. Let's see what trunk space looks like. You've got some room in there. If you take this panel off, you've got some depth for sure. And then, of course, fold the seats down, you've got even more room. So, not terrible for a hatchback. I do like the interior lighting. Nice and bright. Big touch screen here. I haven't really familiarized myself with the controls, but since it's chilly out, I'm going to put on my heated steering wheel and a heated seat. There's a sport mode. We should definitely try that. And just for the sake of entertainment, let's turn off traction control, because this thing is really fast. Reverse is down to the left. Low res reverse camera. It does the job, but it looks foggy. It doesn't look good. Oops. All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you pull the paddle and there's some brake regeneration going on there on the left paddle. You can slow down pretty significantly by just holding that paddle. You almost don't need the brake pedal at all, which is kind of cool. Steering feels relatively light, kind of what you would expect in like a Chevy Cruze or something like that. I just completely slowed down using the paddle behind the steering wheel to my right. Pretty cool. Not much to hear. It's electric. You can hear a faint whining noise depending on your level of hearing and age. In front of me on the gauge cluster, you have, or the digital gauge readout, you have a ball that kind of moves between eco acceleration and eco braking, and if I floor it, that ball goes way up. It is really pretty fast. I will give the Bolt that this is one of the quicker non-Tesla electric cars that I've driven. Pretty impressive. Again, I'm going to slow down using the paddle on the left side of the steering wheel. Except I was a little bit late to the game and didn't quite judge my distance, so I had to use the brake. Let's do an exhilarating launch here from 0. We're in sport mode. Traction control is off. On green. It is fast. It's quite peppy. The ride is a little bit stiff, and then of course because of it has such a short wheelbase, you get a little bit of rocking back and forth. It's a little bit bumpy in here. It's not terrible, but it's just it's a little stiff. Another red light. All right. Well, that just gives us another excuse to launch it again. For some reason, I've never really gotten heat and AC to work too well in electric cars. I don't know if this is any different. Yeah, I feel some heat blowing through there. See if I can stay toasty. Of course, my range just went down a bunch. So just to show you an example of how quickly this thing accelerates, we'll put a car next to us for reference and match its speed, and we're gone. See ya! Yeah, pretty cool. Handling, thankfully, is also quite good. Tires are relatively grippy for being eco tires. You've got a pretty good idea of their threshold and grip circle around these entrance ramps. There's so much torque that you can kind of just spin the tires at will out of a corner. Cruising at 70 miles an hour. A little bit of wind noise, and that's about it. Good visibility. You've got a lot of window space up front to the sides. I mean, you can just see everywhere out of this thing. Rearward visibility isn't the best. This mirror is kind of tiny, and then you have the two headrests that kind of block things back behind you, but no complaints. You'll be able to figure it out. I also haven't really driven this during the day yet either. Ooh, the heat just really came on big time. So, good point. In the Bolt, heater works. Should I do this next entrance ramp? I think so, why not? It's so fast. It really does push you into the back of your seat. Of course, if you actually had this car, you would never drive this way unless if you just totally didn't care about your range at all, and you could get rid of your range anxiety with ample charging and lots of electricity in your life. But it's entertaining because I've just had this car for about half an hour and I want to floor it everywhere. So far, it looks like I'm down about a third or a quarter. I'm down about a third of my range, a little bit more, and it says I have 121 miles to go. So not terrible. Let's settle down here a little bit. We'll take it out of sport mode. We'll turn traction control on. I don't think there's an eco mode or anything. And we'll just kind of see how it feels to drive conservatively stay within that eco bubble on my digital dash. Yeah, I mean, I would say pretty cool car. It's kind of, it's kind of nerdy, kind of techy. Chris told me that there isn't a GPS option for this. You can get Apple CarPlay, but that's about it. For me, I don't mind that because I have never used the GPS in any car ever, really, like truly used it. I just use my iPhone and Waze. And I think GM has caught on to that and realized, you know what, why bother? Which I think is a commendable thing to do because it makes sense. Probably lots of USB ports that I can't quite see because it's dark. And yeah, this is a nice big display. Looks like you've got some charging info and then your music, and you can just kind of have everything in one spot, which is kind of neat. You've got actual physical buttons for your climate control. Then, of course, radar guided cruise control, lane keep assist, all that good stuff. It's actually keeping me in the lane on this road here. Let's see if we can stay centered in the middle lane. See how well it does. It's doing a pretty good job. Oh, now it's not doing a pretty good job. It's kind of bouncing between the lines. This definitely isn't Tesla autopilot. That's okay. It's not really supposed to be. Like any electric car, brakes are a little mushy, funky, regenerative-y feeling. Yeah. It's about the best way I can describe it. They're not the best, but they work. It's kind of fun to play a game with yourself and try to only use the regen for braking, which is totally doable as long as you kind of pay attention to your braking distances and you don't get a lot of yellow lights at the last minute like we have on this POV drive. If you turn off everything, it becomes very quiet. This is probably one of the few cars that I could do a whisper review. Yes. Yeah, that doesn't get old. I don't anticipate it would either. Pretty cool. Alright, well I just burned off 20 miles worth of range, and those are my first impressions on the Chevy Bolt. Chevy Bolt. Pretty cool. I'm curious. I kind of wanted to film this tonight because tomorrow it's going to be raining all day and you're just going to be hearing raindrops. And I figured it'd be nice to kind of hear the car and how quiet it is, and just kind of feel how it goes over bumps and stuff. So yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and we'll see you later. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.